Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Insight Show. And my name is Bobby Baby Walker, and I'm sitting in for the Reverend Dennis. And we're hoping to have a really good show. Not we're hoping, we're going to have a really good show. And I have two guests, and one is Joe Giannino, and he's gonna do some singing and participate in the discussion. And we have Tommy Maher. Tommy Maher is a guest, and I get to pick his brain.
Oh, sorry for your troubles.
Okay. So, the first thing I'd like to do is do a little, small, short interview. Tommy, let's start with you. When did you start singing?
Well, I started in 7th grade. That was my first band, 7th grade. And, I went through my teen years messing around. Never really took anything serious. Just did, get some girls and stuff. You know how it goes. You know how it goes, Bobby Love.
Oh yeah.
And Bobby Baby Love. And so it was, it was just something to do. And a lot of my friends were into music and stuff. I was more into sports. I was an athlete. And that was where my goal was because, we had no money. And my father sat me and my two brothers down and said, listen, if you want to go to college, you're going to have to get really good at sports. And I will say all three of us got full rides to the best schools in the country.
Wow.
I did a little detour with mine, though. I had 33 scholarships to the best schools for wrestling.
Wow.
And my brother was a national champion, which was a tough show to follow. The guy was amazing. Mm-hmm. And then I got married young, and I had children young. And when my kids were 2 and 4, I got custody of my kids. So I raised my kids alone since they're 2 and 4.
Right.
Now they're in their 40s. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. But I just stopped the music altogether and did what I had to do. I had to focus on raising these kids right, making sure it was right, make some money for the family, and I had to do what a father does.
Right.
And so I put everything on my stuff musically on hold. And then at 40, I made my comeback or start, whatever you want to call it.
There you go.
And the first thing I did was a wedding band. And we used to do the three biggest, Huntington Townhouse, Crest Hollow, and Leonard's. And it was great. It was great. It was the easiest money. Money was really good. And when you really broke it down, you probably only worked about 40 minutes. When you really broke everything down, here comes the bride, here's the cake, here's the speech, here's take all that stuff away. Actually singing, it wasn't a big thing. You got fed well. It was a good gig.
Absolutely.
And then I kind of got bored with that,
How long did you do that?
I did that for about 3 years. About 3 years. And then what I always wanted to do, I was an R&B guy. And people really that know me now don't really know that. They think I'm a Zeppelin and Norman Brothers and Marshall Tucker and all that stuff, which is what I do now. But and I do a lot of blues now. But at that time, I was really, I was raised, James Brown was my idol. The Temptations,
All right.
my idols, and the Four Tops were my idols. And one of my favorites of all time was Little Anthony, and the Imperials. So that was always in me. So I came up with this concept rather than, going with the band and doing all this. And this was before karaoke or anything. I actually had all this music recorded, and I went and did a R&B show, soup to nuts. And from Teddy to Luther to everybody, Four Tops, Temptations, you name it, it was in there. Nice. All the stuff that I loved, that I grew up with, And I did that for 8 years. I did a one-man show. Wow. And I did really well with it. I really, really did. And then I always was. I was a Woodstock guy, and I was always a rock guy. And then I got into a couple bands, and then everything kind of just blasted, all into Zeppelin and the Allman Brothers and stuff like that.
Whatever
and I
they
was with
needed, right?
a band for like 13 years. We were together. I mean, we played the Woodstock reunion last year together. We're doing it this year again, but now I'm more getting into the heavier blues stuff. I'm really, really becoming addicted to the blues. I don't know for some reason, whether it's age or whatever, but it's really starting to get inside my blood, and I really feel that much more. And I really want to allow myself, but being a frontman in a rock band is a great thing. But it really showcases, a lot of it is showcasing guitars, and drums, and and not that I want to be the guy. I just want to let my feelings be known. And like doing Born to Be Wild and all that stuff that we did, it really isn't music that you're really truly laying your soul on the stage. And that's what I want to do. Now I want to do stuff where blood and guts on the stage, hardcore blues, just let it
work
die.
it, right?
Let it go, man. So
I hear you.
that's kind of where I'm at now.
Okay.
But I'm getting to work with. I've worked with some of the biggest in the world, and it's been really a fun ride.
I have another question for you, and I just want to preface it by saying that there's a lot of people in the field that don't actually know music, and I was wondering, do you know music?
Do you mean to read music? I don't.
Read it right?
No, I don't. But I know music.
Oh, well, yeah,
I definitely.
yeah.
That's one thing I
Vocally,
will.
yeah.
No, not even vocally. Knowledge-wise, I know music. I don't know how to read it, but I can tell you when a guy misses a note. I don't care whether it's a bass player, drum. I don't care who it is. I can tell you when they miss a note. I got great ears for music. Great ears for music. But and you know yourself. I mean, when you used to do your other show, I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn how to read music because it's one of those things like you always wanted to do, but you never really had time to do it.
Yeah.
I never had time.
I like to tell people that it's kind of like having a doctor work in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mix. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And I look at my own self, and like I went through several years of training, and then I didn't do it. I didn't do it for like, let me see, about 25, 30 years,
Like me.
And finally I decided, I'm going to start doing it, And I was able to get into several groups,
Which were some fairly known groups too.
Yeah.
Don't cut yourself short, brother.
Well, one of them was the Del Vikings.
One of the greatest groups ever.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it was short-lived because
You did it.
yeah, but
Well, I know you, and I know how talented you are, and I know how much you love it. And like me, we probably waited too long, but we're having fun. And
Absolutely. That's what it's
neither
all
one of
about.
us is saying we're looking for a record deal. We're
Yeah.
just looking to have a little fun before
there
we
you go. There
get
you
on the
go.
wrong side of the green. You know
There
what I mean?
you go. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't have any delusions about
Yeah.
the field.
what I do have, I love writing. I love to write. I have lyrics that I've never shown anyone, stacks of them. I would love to let some of that stuff out to other people and let them do it. I really would, and see
Well,
what they could do with it.
I know a lot of people that write, and I'm glad to hear that you're writing and you
Oh.
want other people to do it.
Absolutely.
Because I know people that write, and I understand that they supposedly write very well, but they're like, it's mine.
Plus they-
I don't want nobody to steal it. And
Plus, they make more money than anybody.
right, yeah,
They make more money than the people singing it,
right, yeah.
and they can walk the streets. But that's true. What you're saying.
Yeah,
but
there's a few.
I'm one of them. I mean, I have stacks. I have stacks and stacks and stacks of stuff that I think is really good. But like my worst, I guess what?
Critic?
No, my worst
Alert?
thing that happened to me was Luther Vandross was one of my all-time. I think there was only one Luther Vandross. I mean, I love Teddy. Teddy's my for making love. Teddy's the man. Barry's good, but Teddy's the man.
I hear you.
But Luther was in a category all of his own.
Yeah.
And I wrote the most beautiful song I think that I've ever written. But I only wrote it for him to sing it because I felt that he was the only human being that could sing that song. And I went over and I met him and his keyboard player who is his, they write together. And they both loved it. And 2 weeks later he had a stroke. And that was it. And that was like, I wanted, that was a crusher for me. Because I wanted so bad, not for the money. I mean, not that that's bad.
Well, I mean,
but that if that guy would have done one of the songs that I wrote,
yeah.
I would have been good for the rest of my days.
Yeah,
You know?
The money would have been nice.
It'd be
too.
nice right now.
It'd
I don't
be
have enough money to
real
pay
nice.
attention.
but it would be real nice.
Real nice.
Yeah. But, you know, like having seen a lot of different versions, for instance, of a particular tune, I've come to the conclusion that anything that I write, you know, like I should be willing to share with, you know, as many people as come.
It's
to,
an honor
you know,
that
yeah,
if someone,
that
especially
they
if it's someone with a name,
of course,
to do
sure,
one of your songs. I mean,
sure.
look
Yeah.
at Bernie Taupin, man. I mean,
Right.
him
and
who's
Smokey, right.
who's better? I mean, Bernie Taupin has written the greatest songs ever. I mean, and the guy can walk the streets, and I mean, he's, you know,
Right.
I love Bernie Taupin. I love him.
Yeah. I'm amazed at people that can write too, because in my day I have only written maybe 6 or 7 songs. You know.
You know, it's really great when a writer and a performer have the right chemistry, like Bernie Taupin and Elton John. Do you know? I don't know if you guys know, but I mean, Bernie Taupin and Elton John, they were together very young age. They hooked up through a record company. Neither one they felt could make it on their own.
Wasn't he with Smokey?
No.
Oh.
They were kids. They
My
were
bad.
kids. And Bernie Taupin moved into Elton John's house, and he was treated like his brother. And but Bernie Taupin would write the lyrics. They never, ever, to this day, they never wrote a song together in the same room. And Elton John, they say that it took him just about every song. I mean, and the guy has classics beyond classic, one after another. It never took him more than like 20 minutes to just do the song.
Wow.
So it was like Bernie would come down, here's the lyrics, 20 minutes later,
It was done.
there was,
Wow.
you know.
That's like
That's
a
cool.
machine,
That's
a
cool.
songwriting machine.
And they're still doing it.
Yeah. That's great. And songs, you know, like, truth be told, songs are the backbone of the industry, because without a song, you don't have an industry.
That's true.
Well, I mean, music is the international language to all, I don't care, race, religion, creed, it doesn't matter.
Right, it cuts
It-
across
it
all
goes,
barriers. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
See, I like the oldies. I'm more of an oldies. I don't really like today's music. You know, I like music that has heart. When you could sing it to a girl and it means something.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll remember it and they'll cherish it. But to hear these other bands out there today that, you know, I just shot my mother, killed my sister, Dan, and I can't get into that. You know, and
but I will say, I'm a big fan of the show The Voice. And I'm a vocalist, and a lot of the people are, oh, that's all. But I'll tell you right now, that show is great for many reasons. Number one is right out of the get, they don't even get to see the person, which is a wonderful thing. You should never be judged by the way you look.
I agree.
Never. So that's a great part. And secondly, they don't, as opposed to the other show, they don't put these stupid acts on that make complete asses of themselves.
Right.
And I mean, like, are you serious? How'd they even get online?
Right.
You know, The Voice does not play. I mean, the top 24 are just they're amazing, amazing artists. I mean, I can't
Absolutely.
believe how talented these kids are. And to get up, and some of them are 16,
Yeah.
with knowing 25 million people are watching you, I couldn't
And
do
to
that.
work a song.
My knees would be-
yeah.
I don't know how they do it, but they are. But I agree with you. Like there's so much trash out there with the vocal stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
with the wah 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 wah.
But the
wah,
cursing
you know.
and I mean
It's
and
disgusting.
the things that they actually say in their song is violent and I just don't get, I didn't even believe there was a market for it.
Oh, there's a massive.
Yeah, they
market
created
for
a market
But-
for it.
But that
But
shows
Joe,
you how the world changed.
what groups do you like? Oh,
I was
what-
always a big Elvis fan.
Elvis.
Yeah, I grew up playing music in my bedroom and trying to mimic them.
Mm-hmm.
I would take, I had an 8-track, and I would play all types of music. And I would try to mimic the voice. I like Tom Jones, Sinatra.
And Tom Jones is still killing it.
Yeah.
Still killing it.
Yeah.
The guy is like an 18-year-old kid.
What
He
happened?
just lost his wife, though.
Oh, I didn't know
I'm
that.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too. I'm a professional comedian by trade. That's what I do. I'm a comic. And what happened was I was at a karaoke bar one night, and I did "She's a Lady" by Tom Jones, and people were coming over to me, and you could tell it wasn't like, I know the difference between when somebody says you're good because they feel sorry for you because you're in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
and someone says you're good because you really
Good.
got
Right,
good.
you-
So I know when it's sympathy, and I know when it's real. And people were coming over to me, and at the time, I was married, and I was like, my wife said to me, she goes, "You really do have a voice." I was like, "No, I don't." I said, "I'm a comic, not a singer." But she says, "You know what?" She says, "You could probably do both." I says, "No." I said, "You can't do both. You one or the other." I said, "But I like music, and I love music. And so I like to have, as he said earlier, have fun with it. I enjoy singing.
Right.
So, you know what?
Why not have fun?
Exactly. I have fun with it. I don't do that for a living, but when I'm on stage with a mic and you give me an audience, I'll make you laugh all night long.
That's
But,
what it's
you know,
all about.
You tell me to sing a song, I'll sing you a song.
Yeah,
And I'll have
that's what
fun with
it's
it,
all
and I'll do the
about.
best I can.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. At least for me.
Yeah.
You know,
It's such
as
a
far
good
as I can
trip.
see.
You know, might as well enjoy yourself, right?
Right. A lot of people think that, for instance, karaoke
Right.
is for professional singers. No.
No.
Karaoke was put there to have a good time, you know?
Absolutely.
Laugh at yourself, you know?
Right.
And
I got to
you know?
tell you, I actually, like, you know, with the club that we're opening, I'm going to have a karaoke. I think it's terrific.
Yeah, I
Because
think so
I'll
too.
tell you, I don't think not that I've been to a lot of them. I haven't. When it first started, I probably was in more. I won a couple contests.
Mm-hmm.
I think I won a helicopter ride. I was like, no thanks. Yeah, you keep it. I don't know. But I'll tell you, I don't think I've ever been to any karaoke where there wasn't somebody that didn't blow me away, and you go, how is this person not, out
Right.
there making it, But
Right.
then again, now that I'm in the music business as hard as I am,
Right.
I know a million of those guys and women that
Right.
will blow any of these people in the top
Right.
25 or whatever, blow them away like they were nothing,
Right.
and you'll never hear of them. That's why I do my show.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that the music business is such a difficult business to excel in.
You know
I
what
mean,
bothers me the most about the music business?
What?
How age discriminative it is. I mean, they want 14, 15-year-old kids. That's what
Right.
they want.
And you know why, right?
Us, they'd laugh when we walked in.
They
the
want to
bar.
sell the sex is really what they want to
They
do.
want that
Hey,
because they can
we ain't dead.
manipulate.
We ain't dead. They
Not
don't throw
even.
Bobby Baby love for
That's
nothing.
right. That's
No,
right.
but I'm saying they want those hard body covers,
No,
and that's
they-
what they're brainwashed.
Not
to-
even
yeah,
that. They just want that little teeny
Yeah.
pop. I mean, these boy bands that they put together. I mean, I sit there. I'm sure you, and just go. I mean, man. I mean, we had the Beatles. We had.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Little Anthony.
Well, Anthony
Talent.
Imperial, yeah.
Absolutely.
Talent. But now
absolutely.
with the vocal all the crap what they do with the vocals. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't mind a guy that's paid his dues and is in his 70s and they want to adjust his vocals. I don't have a problem with that at all. That guy paid his dues, and I know a lot of people that do it. But man, when you're 16 and 18 years old and you're doing that,
Right.
it's inexcusable. Because in my opinion,
Absolutely.
if you can't do it live, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the software that they have for recording and whatnot.
Oh,
They can adjust your notes and stuff like that.
Make you
know,
perfect.
And, yeah, make you sound
There's
perfect.
a lot of it out there.
So there's a lot of people out there that have the wherewithal to do their own recordings and stuff like that and back themselves
Yeah.
and whatnot. And they're not as good as they could be, you know?
Well, a lot of them, I won't mention any names, but one just recently was caught rehearsing without all the vocal equipment on her, and it was like a cat being stabbed to death.
Oh wow.
And it was horrifying. And then when you hear them sing it, and it's that wah 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 wah, you know that. I don't even know what the hell that stuff is that they do, but
I have a question because I saw a thing on YouTube with Bob Dylan, I believe it was, and he was talking about that musicians had actually made a deal with the devil to become famous. And he actually said that he had signed a contract, and that's why he's where he is today, that he's still performing and honoring his deal. Is that something that's real, or is that made up? Or, I mean, because the way he spoke.
I hope not.
Joe, I can tell you one thing: if the devil knocks on my door, I ain't signing no contract.
Not even.
No, because you know what scared me about it was like the way he said it.
Yeah.
He was very sincere about it, and I was like, well, you had to be a real maniac, man, because who would sign that, and why would you sell your soul for fame and fortune? I mean, you can't put a price on that.
Yeah, there's
when
a
you're
story.
young, you're never going to get old.
There's,
And all of a
there's,
sudden, you turn around, ooh, the contract's up, Jack.
that's right. Yeah.
Now what?
There's a story about the Crossroads.
Right, with
Right?
Ralph Macchio, I believe, was in that.
Yeah, the Crossroads, and that a guitar player.
Yeah, he was a blues artist.
Yeah,
yes.
blues artist was trying to learn,
Yeah.
do his thing and whatnot, and the devil came along and said, "Listen, I'll,
Well,
I'll
Charlie
hook you
Daniels
up,
said
you
that
know,
too,
All
right?
you have to do is sign in blood right here," and he did, and his career took off, and,
And Charlie Daniels went the other way.
I hear you.
Robert Johnson.
Robert Johnson,
Oh.
right. That was the name of the artist,
Right.
Robert Johnson, who signed in
Right.
blood. All right, and thank
So you
you.
think that was truth to that?
Huh?
You think that was truth in that?
No, I think
That's a little-
that's an old wives' tale.
Yeah.
But a lot of people swear by
Yeah.
that actually happening.
Well, I'd have to.
That's a
tell you-
scary thought, I'll
No.
tell you that much.
All
Well, I'll tell you
respect
what,
to
you sign that. I mean, life on Earth is a speck of time.
Right. Eternity's
Eternity
a big thing.
in shoveling coals
Right.
in the furnaces of that's too long.
A
Sorry.
long time.
I'll
right.
take my speck doing something else.
You ain't kidding.
I
You
hear
ain't kidding.
I hear you.
It's just that that's been talked about in the industry so much lately.
Right.
Even, when Michael Jackson died and all just recently Prince.
Yeah.
That was all, they had all that stuff out about this.
Yeah,
And when I was looking that up, I was like, I didn't know how big that really was. That was one of the
Well,
things
I-
in entertainment, though.
And you
And
know what?
actors, too, not just singers, actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like not for nothing, but I think though that the music industry is, in comparison to other industries, is a very small industry.
I think it's
And-
turned into a very ugly industry.
It's
Ugly.
right. It's very ugly, and I think that in the United States, at least, it's being cut out of music. Is being cut out of the American diet.
Well, I'll tell you what I think is a big problem, but it works it's a two-sided coin
Mm-hmm.
with YouTube. I mean, I have seen the most amazing artists that live in Ethiopia in a cave or something that you would have never got to see in your lifetime
Right.
or in 1,000 lifetimes
Right.
that you get to see. But the oversaturation of music now, every kid has a recording studio as big as a cigarette pack in his pocket. And like you said, you can overdub all your background vocals. You can create anything. You can make the. It's amazing what you can do. So there's so much. There's so much. That's why now that you don't buy albums anymore. You buy singles. You know. I used to. That was a great part of it. Now they're bringing back vinyl again, which is a good thing.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just it. I don't know. Like when I was a kid, I had a friend of mine. I think you know them too. Don't they know you're doing a TV show? The Rhythm Jesters, you know, and they were friends of mine I grew up with, and they signed a record deal, and that was such an amazing thing in those days. Now, I mean, it's like it's not
Yeah.
even a.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's so
absolutely.
everybody's independent, you know. It's
Right. And
it's a crazy thing.
Right. The whole industry is sort of falling apart because of the various deals that were made back in the 50s. And
Well, the big guys are really losing control because everybody's going independent, and
Right,
I don't blame them.
yeah.
Because look, all the people we grew up with, they were all ripped off. Every
That's
single
right.
one of them were
That's
ripped
right.
off,
That's right.
raped.
Right. The only one that wasn't raped was Jimmy Ricks and the Ravens.
You got to throw Prince in there too.
yeah. James
Prince.
Brown.
Yeah,
Yeah. James Brown turned around and did his own thing. Him and Ray Charles. So some
there's another
artists,
one of my golden heroes,
Yeah,
Ray
yeah.
Charles. There's only one Ray Charles,
Absolutely.
but James Brown, in my
I-
opinion, the greatest ever.
Mm.
I mean, you can say what you want about Michael Jackson, but let me
Yeah,
tell you
but-
what. You go look at James and you check out the moves, you'll see where they came from.
I agree with that, but I'll tell you one person we haven't brought up, Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, another icon.
Yes,
Absolutely.
that man is incredible,
Right.
incredible. He's one of my favorite artists, Stevie Wonder.
He's great.
Yeah,
He's great.
yeah,
I covered a couple of his tunes. And not an easy guy to cover, I got to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But great humanitarian, too.
I was actually partial to all Motown,
Me too.
but particularly I
You got to stop
love the.
doing that, Bob.
Oh, I'm sorry. The moves of the Temptations.
Well, see, that was my
What?
and I was in a school that was based, it was probably 50-50, white and black. And every assembly, there was guys in gold
Right.
suits.
Try to imitate them, right?
No, they were great. They were
Yeah.
great. I mean, some of them are still around. But I will never, and I actually got to sing on stage with the Temptations 3 times.
Wow.
3 times. You know, they pulled me out of the audience, but I know, we kind of, Otis we know.
Uh-huh.
And when he sees, he'll drag me up. And they are still, even though he's the only one left, they're still amazing. They're still amazing. And the Four Tops.
Yeah.
They're still amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nothing classier than that when they come out. And
when
did,
they
I mean,
come
I
out
could
and-
watch that forever and ever and ever.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
phenomenal.
They're great. They're great.
That music will be around forever.
And they were the ones that inspired me to learn harmony.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't mind saying that I'm very good at it, you know. And it was because of them, you know. And then, you know, I started looking at other groups, you know, and their harmonies and
Look at the Beach Boys. I mean,
Yeah.
another amazing. I mean, Brian Wilson
Yeah.
was
yeah,
the guy. You think what
Great.
people forget is the age that he did that at.
right.
And no one ever had done that before. I mean, and you talk about harmonies, man.
Right. That was like incredible for his age.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
you know, I don't
But
know.
there's
any-
a guy that, you know, he's
Yeah. I don't think there's many people that since then that has done what he did.
no. I mean,
know?
tried to be copied, You know,
Right.
like we're going like Pet Boys. You know, we want to try to do a Pet Boys thing, or or the Beatles. Like I think the Beatles really took a lot of their stuff from the Beach Boys, and I think they'd be the first to admit
Right.
that too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they were unbelievable.
They did. They did. Yeah.
The cover band Beatlemania they had out in the early '80s, I believe it was, right? Beatlemania. It was a cover band done by the Beatles.
Uh
They did all Beatles music, and it was called
Right.
Beatlemania,
That was like a tribute band.
a tribute band.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Tribute band.
A gazillion of those.
But they were real. They were big at
Well, the other guy, that guy, what is Giannino? What was the name of that group we saw at the Beacon Theater?
Something onion.
No, the bass player from David Letterman's show.
Roy.
No, Janine. What's the name of them? I don't know. We saw him at the Beacon Theater. To me, I mean, I have a thing of tribute bands. You know, I'm not a big fan of them unless you're really, really, really good.
Yeah.
You know, and
Okay.
because it's already been done.
Okay. Now, talking about tribute bands, what makes a tribute band that is really, really good desirable? Like, oh no, that's not the way I.
Well, first of all, a tribute
No.
band, they have to stay true, and they have to. I don't like when they make believe that they're them. That kind of turns me off. I'd rather them just get up and be themselves and do the music.
Yeah.
It's like when they try to dress up, like I won't mention any names, but there's a couple of Zeppelin bands out there. And like we went and saw one, and you know, the guy, I know they're like from Long Island, and the guy's talking with an English accent. I'm like, come on, you know, like
Yeah,
really.
yeah. I
But on the same token, we had just on my show, I just had Fleetwood Mac, which is a Fleetwood Mac tribute band. They're amazing.
yeah.
They're amazing. I mean, now them I can sit and watch. I can watch that.
So, do they mimic the
They're
Fleetwood Mac?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Husband and wife, you know, is Stevie and you know, and the band is phenomenal. Great musicians. I mean, they play big club. I mean, they play the biggest joints in the city too.
Yeah. I'm in a group that one of the members of the group is like a stickler for preciseness
Like
of,
James Brown.
of the recording, okay? And actually, I'm a believer of the fact that music is a living, breathing thing, you know? And I don't believe that it should be the same way twice.
Perfect example of
You
that.
know what I'm saying?
Perfect example of that. I can't think of a better example is Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin, still to this day, probably sells more records than anybody every year. And they're gone, what, 30, 35 years?
Right.
But one thing about Zeppelin, they never played a song the same twice. Never. I defy you to get any Zeppelin album with Whole Lot of Love or any Living, Loving Maid or any Communication Break. It's never the same. Never.
Right.
And Jimmy Page was such a genius because he kept every album was different. So, you know, every live, like if they did the live
So
albums.
it had a collection.
You
of
had to
them,
buy
right?
them. I have
Yeah,
every
yeah.
one, and I defy anyone to show me two songs the same. You will not find
I
it.
agree. Music is a living, breathing
And
thing.
and like you were just saying, like there's a lot to mistakes. You know how many great songs were mistakes? Like I'll give you an example with Zeppelin again. When they were recording Whole Lot of Love, right? Jimmy Page was in a booth doing the guitar parts. Robert Plant was in another booth doing the vocal parts. But they didn't realize on the recording that Plant was bleeding through on Page's guitar. And when you hear that in the back with him wailing, that was supposed to come out. And Jimmy said, I'm going to leave it in. And it's really what made that record. I mean,
Right.
it was an accident, you know?
I have a funny story about Led Zeppelin that it's a true story. It was funny. We were kids. I was 16, and one of my friend's grandfathers was working at a company. And he came over to his grandson's house, and he says, "I got you guys a surprise to go see a band tonight." So we're thinking he's in his 70s, like what is he gonna? He goes. So we said, "Well, what's the name of the group?" He goes, "I don't know, some band called Lead Balloon." So we said, "What?" I said, "Let me see those tickets." So I look at him. I said, "This is Led Zeppelin." And I said, "Where'd you get these?" He goes, "Oh, my boss gave them to me." But he called it Lead Balloon, and we were laughing because
Oh,
he
it
had no
actually
idea.
was a lead balloon.
Right. And he didn't know there was Led Zeppelin, and that was like the hottest tickets, and they were front row. So,
Really?
oh,
Was
yeah.
that the garden?
Yeah. It was unbelievable.
How about this group back in the day that did uh, lighter shades of gray or
Oh, Procol Harum.
Procol Harum? What do you think of them?
I think they were phenomenal.
They were phenomenal, but I defy anybody
To sing it?
to tell me what that song is about.
No one can tell
Whiter
you what.
shade of pale.
Why the
That-
shade of pear? But like I couldn't figure out what it was about.
You got to Google it.
Louie Luau, you can't figure out what that's about either.
Well, that was the idea
You
of
see-
that because there was one of the biggest, really great publicity things ever. I mean, that is still to this day.
Right.
What did he say? Because I grew up in that time. I
Mm-hmm.
grew up when that record came out, and I remember we would sit in basement parties, and everybody we would just listen. We got to hear it. Because I mean, I can't really say what
Yeah,
we
yeah,
said, and I believe that's what we were saying is what he said.
Right. Yeah.
And years later, I think the guy was in his 60s. I think he passed away now. But I mean, he kind of said it was this. And, I think it was still what it was,
Right, Yeah, I just kind of feel like this. It's like mind-boggling, trying to figure out what it is, what it's
It
about.
makes it so
Right.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, don't you feel that way with any? See, I love to watch singers. I love to watch singers. And the one thing that I if a singer doesn't take me on the journey with them, I'm not with them. And you can take a great singer, but if they have no soul, Janine, if you have no soul, I'm not on the journey with you. And you can see that. I mean, a lot of people, they're great singers, but they just have they're not like, I want to see the blood in God. I want to see the
presence, no
passion. I want to
presence.
see the sweat. I want to see the veins hanging out. I want to, take me on that journey with you. I want to know you're all in.
Yeah, you want to
Yes.
feel their pain.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
But I think she is going like this over and over, and I'm like, it's not my show. It's Bobby's show.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short pause, and we'll be right back.
Galaxy Luxury Coach is a full-service limousine and party bus company. Family-owned and operated, we are an industry leader with over 25 years of experience in providing best-in-class luxury transportation for your special event. Whether it's your precious wedding day, an all-day wine tour out east, your high school prom, that special birthday, or just an amazing night on the town, our professional chauffeurs stand ready to ensure your special event is truly special. Galaxy Luxury Coach has one of the largest and modern party bus fleets in the New York area. Our party buses are simply nightclubs on wheels. Concert sound systems, light shows, lasers and strobes, multicolor LED lighting brilliantly lights your party bus inside and out. For corporate and more laid-back events, we will cater to your specific needs and requests. What sets Galaxy aside from all others in the luxury transportation industry is our attention to detail in customizing our services to your special event. At Galaxy, it's all about you and your guests. Galaxy customers return time and time again because they know they can trust Galaxy to help deliver those lifetime memorable moments. Step aboard and let your Galaxy experience begin.
you smell so good, I won't have to bathe the next 2 weeks. Anything. So, here, laugh a little harder. All right,
I will take him. I would be proud to show you off, you little old weirdo man.
Get a new sweater. The worst dressed man here tonight. Right? Look, get that laugh, and get it in there tonight because nobody else is gonna laugh like her. She's under drugs, all right?
Welcome to Formula Auto Wash, where every day is a great day for a car wash. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. Sundays 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Detailing packages for every budget, starting out at $29.99. 100% hand wash and detail centre. Hog's hair and microfiber brushes and mitts. Proudly used in Ecolab Blue Coral soaps and waxes. Formula Auto Wash has served the community for over 30 years. Senior discounts all day, every day. Ladies' Day Wednesday, $3 off any wash. Early bird discount Monday through Thursday till 9:30 a.m. Check out our website, formulaautowash.com.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Madhouse Studios. We had a lively discussion about the music industry, and we're as the tradition of this show, we're going to end with music and singing. And first up is Joe the Fabulous.
All right, we're going to do a song called After the Lovin' by Engelbert Humperdinck. So I sing you to sleep after the lovin'. I brush back the hair from your eyes, and the love on your face is so real that it makes me wanna cry. It's so hard to explain everything that I'm feeling. Face to face, I just seem to go dry. But I love you so much that the sound of your voice can get me high. Thanks for taking me on a one-way trip to the sun. And thanks for turning me into a someone. So I sing you to sleep after the loving. I brush back the hair from your eyes, and the love on your face is so real that it makes me wanna cry. And I know that my song isn't saying anything new. Oh, but after the loving, I'm still in love with you. So I sing you to sleep after the loving. I brush back the hair from your eyes, and the love on your face is so real that it makes me wanna cry. And I know that my song isn't saying anything new. Oh, but after the loving, I'm still in love with you. Yes, after the loving, I'm still in love with you. After the loving, I'm still in love with you. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. That's my father's favorite song. And I guess Bob, after dragging me on this show that I didn't know I was going to be on, I'm going to be doing songs that I haven't sang in probably 20 years. So if I forget the words, don't yell at me. Uh-oh. Oh, when the sun gets down and burns a tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby, where I'll be.
Under the boardwalk,
Out of the sun,
under the boardwalk,
we'll be having some fun.
under the boardwalk,
People walking above,
under the boardwalk,
people making love under the boardwalk, boardwalk. On the park, you happy sounds of the carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs and French fries they sell under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby, where I'll be.
under the boardwalk,
Out of the sun,
under the boardwalk,
we'll be having some fun.
under the boardwalk,
People walking
under
above,
the boardwalk,
people making love under the boardwalk, boardwalk. Ooh yeah, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby's where I'll be.
under the boardwalk,
Out of the sun,
under the boardwalk,
we'll be having some fun.
under the boardwalk,
People walking
under
above,
the boardwalk,
people making love
under
under
the
the boardwalk, boardwalk. Well, there was a lot of bad notes in that song. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you, folks. That was a tough one. Oh, here's another one. We'll send this one out to BB himself, man. We miss him dearly. The greatest. What? Thrill is gone. Thrill is gone away. Oh, the thrill is gone, baby. Ooh, thrill is gone away. Well, you done me wrong, baby. Ooh, that's why I've got to pay. Come on now. Thrill is gone. I said the thrill is gone away. Oh, the thrill is gone, baby. Ooh, thrill is gone away. Well, I never done you wrong, baby. Ooh, now it's my time to pay. Come on now. Free, free, free. I'm free from your spell. Oh, I'm so free, 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 free. Ooh, I'm free from your spell. Well, you know I've never done you wrong. Oh, come on now. Let's do it one more time. Ah! Thrill is gone. I said the thrill is gone away. Oh, the thrill is gone, gone, gone. Ooh, thrill is gone away. Well, I know somehow, somewhere, oh, you're gonna come my way. That's right, baby, now. Come on. Thrill is gone. I said the thrill is gone away. Ooh, the thrill is gone, baby. Yeah. Thrill is gone away. I know I never done you wrong, baby. Ooh, why? Why you gonna make me pay? Hey! Thrill is gone.
All right. The thrill is gone. That was great. Tommy Maher and Joe Giannino. And I'm going to do one song, and then we're going to say goodnight. Two? We'll do two. All right. Here we go. Temptation. There's never a girl that made me feel the way that you do. You're alright. Whenever I pass, who makes my dream thrill about you do. You're outside. Ooh, 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 don't be found. Oh, oh. Look out, baby, 'cause here I come now. Bringing you love and food. Get ready, girl. Get ready, baby. On the way to make you love and food. Get ready, get ready, 'cause here I come. Get ready, 'cause here I come. Get ready, 'cause here I come. If you wanna play hide and seek with love, let me remind you, girl. It's alright. Look, the loving you're gonna miss in the time it takes to find you. It's outside. Ooh, 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 don't be fine. Oh, oh, oh. Look out, baby, here I come. Bringing you a love and food to get ready, girl. Get ready, baby. I'm the way to make you love and food to get ready, to get ready, 'cause here I come. Get ready, 'cause here I Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. And for our last song, we like to, before we play it, we like to say good night and see you next time, next week. There I go, there I go, there I go, there I go. Pretty baby, you are the soul that snaps my control. Such a funny thing, but every time you're near me, I never can behave. You give me a smile and then I'm back up in your music. There's music all around me, crazy music, music that keeps calling me so very close to you. Turns me your slave. Come and do with me any little thing you want to. Anything, baby, just let me get next to you. Am I insane or do I really see heaven in your eyes? Bright as stars that shine up above you in the clear blue sky. How I worry about you, just can't live my life without you, baby. Come in, don't have no fear. Oh, is there a wonder why I'm really feeling in the mood for love? So tell me why, stop to think about this weather, my dear. This little dream might fade away. There I go, talking out of my head again. Oh baby, won't you come, let's put our two hearts together. It would make me strong and brave. Oh, when we are one, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. If there's a cloud up above us, go on and let it rain. I'm sure our love together will endure a hurricane. Oh my baby, won't you please let me love you and get a relief from this awful misery? What is all this talk about loving me, my sweet? I'm not afraid, not anymore, not like before. Don't you understand me? Oh baby, please pull yourself together, do it soon. My soul's on fire, come on and take me. I'll be what you make me, my darling, my sweet. Oh baby, you make me feel so good. Let me take you by the hand. Come let us visit out there in that new promised land. Maybe then we can find a good place to use and love its state of mind. I'm so tired of being without and never knowing what love's about.